Hello and welcome back to the channel. We are here for the first album review, the overall album review, and we're going to be starting off with Prevail's True Power album. Now we're going to be ignoring the intro song because it was literally like 40 seconds. First song that we're going to be rating is There's Fear in Letting Go. It's a very strong intro to the album. I love how it just starts off with the soft synth and then the war drums, as I like to call them, come in there. The suspense is just oh my god, what have we got ourselves in for? I like the whole stuttering cleans. We had some filters on the vocals as well, just to add something different to what they've done in the past. After the clean vocals, the dark, rough screams or something, or whatever, however you want to describe it, and the chorus just went in. And I feel like every single chorus they kind of changed, went up a gear, and it got to the point where the third and final chorus was just this explosion of kind of angelic, prolonged vocals and just harmony, and it was just really putting everything out there that what you're going to be expecting in this album. I think as well with the breakdown, was just a very good breakdown to bring it in. Even up to the build-up of the breakdown, we had a pitch rise that they seem to do quite a lot in this album as well. Just a complete awe-inspiring song to get us into the album. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for that. The second song on the album, first single that came out, and that was Body Bag. I've given about an 8 out of 10 for this song. Now when it first came out, I loved it. Bar the chorus, I really couldn't get into the chorus. Since I've been able to listen to it over and over again, I've kind of got used to the chorus. I kind of like it a little bit more now. Probably would be rated a little bit higher if I clicked with it straight away, but because I didn't, it's only an 8 out of 10. I say only, it's an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 is a strong song. Kind of follows on from Fear and Letting Go in the sense that it keeps the tempo up, it keeps the aggression up. We get a real sense of the rough vocals, hence why I feel the transition was quite hard between the chorus and the harsh verse. However, the chorus is still catchy and it is still good to listen to, and after you get over that first sense of, oh, okay, this isn't where I thought it was going, it does actually go in a different way, and it is actually quite cool, and I did enjoy it in the end. It also adds in the rapping element that we hear quite a lot through the album. This is the first time we hear it. I think they've done it a little bit in the past, but on this album, it definitely seems to be more influenced. There's a lot more rap influence throughout this album. Now, the third song on the album, I believe, was also the third single of the album, was Self-Destruction. It's got one of my favorite starts to a song. The guitar tone is just on point. It feels so devilish, so evil. There is something really brutal behind it. Throughout the song, it just kind of gets more brutal and brutal and brutal. Rap elements, once again, are very noticeable here, following on from Body Bag. I think we've also got a bit of both of the singers doing the rapping, which kind of gives that kind of oh, you know, he's quite hard himself. He's not just doing the cleans. I really like the whispering of if you don't know the devil, then you don't know me. And once again, just finishing off with a very heavy bridge. We've got that rap element still, and it just starts off saying, you know what? It shows that rapping can also be incorporated into a lot of heavier genres. It's not just R&B and hip hop. 9 out of 10. Bad Things is the next song, and it was the second single that came out, and this was almost kind of what I wanted Body Bag to kind of be. It felt like it worked the whole way through. It didn't have any gaps in it. It didn't break up. But I just feel like it works better as a song. You've got a lot of emotion in this song. The chorus is clean. It doesn't stay clean throughout. It does have that hard, heavy bit at the end. And it also has that synth feel, that more electric tones and elements and synths and whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean, which help to kind of integrate within the guitar, especially during the breakdown. It just works really cool, and it's just also synchronized together. That's why I gave that one an 8 out of 10. Following on from that, we do have a couple of songs that I would definitely say were solid, but I wouldn't say they were the best. Starting off with Fake, which I'm gonna give a 7 out of 10. This song, it just feels like a blueprint of all the old Prevail songs, which, don't get me wrong, isn't a bad thing, hence why I got into the band in the first place. It is a very good song. I just don't feel like Fake had that much to offer, really. But what it did have is a guitar solo. I can't really recall if Prevail ever do guitar solos in their past albums and songs. I really can't remember, but the guitar solo in this is fucking sick. If it wasn't for the guitar solo, I probably would have put this down to a 6 or something. Now, following on from a 7 out of 10 with Fake, we are also following on with Judgment Day, which maybe I've judged a little bit too much, which is also a 7 out of 10 for me. Once again, same as Fake, it just had a very Prevail sound, but it had nothing new. It had no uniqueness to it that kind of made me kind of stand up and I think, oh, what's this? This is something that they've evolved into. I like the whispering and the palm mute before the bridge. I think that was really cool. That is something that actually did stand out to me. And it also did have a mini solo, but following on from Fake with that solo already, another one straight away after, it just kind of felt a bit like, okay, we've already heard something similar to this in the song Just Gone. It just made me feel the same as Fake did, so that's why I've done that as like a 7 out of 10 as well. Not every song can be an absolute banger. Talking about bangers though, we do have another 10 out of 10 coming up, and this song is definitely one of my faves, hence why I've given it a 10 out of 10, obviously, and that is Fuck What You Think You Know. Straight into it. I don't know who we've got kind of like doing the intro vocals. I don't know if it's actually the band or if it's someone they've had featured, because I really don't recognise the voice. Little subtle keyboard notes throughout, the little bits of synth here and there was quite nice. We also had the aggressive vocals leading up to the chorus. This just had a completely different feel to it. It completely stood out. The guitar was just so chunky, so chuggy, so stop-start, just like real kind of like rawness to it. And then we get into the chorus and it's like, you know, fuck what you think you know. And then like the flow just changes up constantly, like, and then when you think the chorus is over, it carries on because the flow is just evolving the whole time. It just feels so good to kind of listen to, sing to, work out to, whatever. Then we get into the breakdown of this song, and oh my God, it was probably one of my favourite ones. It was so chaotic, this one. You know, the war drums come back in. I love a war drum, as you can tell. And we just went into some spiralling kind of weird tones, weird sounds, weird guitar effects maybe. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. Following on from Fuck What You Think You Know is another 10 out of 10. And this song is Deepened. This song is the best calm / clean / soft song on the album for me, 100%. It has so much emotion to it. It has a great message that is kind of like coming across. The chorus is really good. The sounds of like how he says different words and how it all kind of fits in together, like the rhythm, the rhyming, that kind of feel. And it was just really like upbeat and positive and optimistic somehow. It just was. It was just taking a shit situation into a good situation. This song here just showed off the actual singing of the band on the album, obviously. Also, it does feel like a bit of an anthem song, and I do like the vocal filters. Now, this song seems to be a little bit more relatable, unfortunately. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. This song is called Long Live the King, and I've done this as an 8 out of 10 song. It just feels like the most fun song on the album, Long Live the King. People have heard that quote, so people can get behind this song quite quickly. Great pre-chorus into it. It's like very like muffled. You can just tell something big's gonna happen, but it's still staying quite calm. And then kind of the drums come in, another pitch rise, and bang, into the chorus where it's just saying Long Live the King over and over again. You can just see this being played live and being awesome, and like the environment being amazing. This is definitely my favorite song on the album, hands down. Just the best song on the album. That's why it had to be a 10 out of 10. Choke just does something different to me. Yes, it's a very hateful song. It's very violent, it's very aggressive, but you know, I think everyone in their lives can relate to it. It's not in like a, you actually are gonna choke someone out. It's just like a real jumpy, up and down, head bang, like guitar is gonna be amazing. I have to learn this song, 100%. Another thing which really stood out for this, for me in this one, is like that little bass line just before like the breakdown, where it's like, dun, 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 and then it goes straight into it. And oh, it was just perfect. You can understand the feeling and the raw emotion behind it. And I think that's the best way to look at it. It's a very raw song. Not to be negative. Well, it is to be negative because that is the song we're talking about. But negative, 7 out of 10. Just like Fake, just like Judgment Day, you've got to have the bottom layer of songs so the others can soar. Just had no uniqueness to it. It just didn't stand out. We've gone from all these amazing songs and then we kind of like gone down back to this. It felt a bit flat. Not to be negative. I got to start making them jokes. I'm sorry. Closure is a very interesting one for me. I have put it down as a 7 out of 10. It didn't really know what it wanted to be in this album. Did it want to be like clean? Did it want to be different? Did it want to be heavy? I don't know. Most of it was quite clean and soft, and at the end, the pacing just went so fast, so incredibly different, and then ended. It was the last 30 seconds of the song. It just felt really weird. Like, what's that? We need to add something else? Okay, let's just like add some screaming and add some of this and make it go fast. That's the change up that they're going to be after. I see it being changed quite a lot to work into like, I don't know, like a Millennium remixes maybe, or like dance numbers, or just remix it up somehow. It's definitely got that to it. For me, it just didn't really hit where I wanted it to hit. Now on to the penultimate song on the album, and with it being a penultimate song, it has to have some sort of hype, and Visceral definitely does that. It's chuggy, but it's different. How many different ways can you be chuggy with these songs? I don't know how, but somehow they do it. It just feels fresh, it feels unique to the other heavier songs that we have on the album. And my favourite thing which I took from this was that 3rd fret just pressing your finger just over the strings gently, like metallic, like which they did in Come and Get It, I believe. It's just a very enforcing song. I feel like, as I've said, we've heard elements and we've heard sounds from other songs just kind of come back in this one, just to remind us that kind of like, you know, the overall variety, what they can do. I really liked how we had both Brian and Eric doing the rough vocals in this one. It offers something different every time. I like the breakdown. If you watch my reaction video, you actually see me go for the breakdown and then it kind of stops for a second, for an extra second, and then goes in. I just like that little effect. It kind of catches you off guard. So yeah, 8.5. Oh God, we are now on to... I don't know if you heard that, but my back just clicked in like 800 different places. We are now on to the last song, and that song is Doomed. It's got the closing down of the album. It's got the outro feel to it. It's got the kind of, this is the last song. Thank you for joining us. This is the end kind of thing. Once again, with the same as like Deepened, this song showed true power in a different way. Quite a lot of the songs on here, which were actually my favorites, showed like power in like an aggressive, a violent, heavy way. It's power to say that you feel alone, you feel this, you feel that, because in doing that, you actually allow other people to understand and realize that they're not alone as well. If you have someone else saying the same things, it just makes your small little world seem a little bit bigger. And to know that you're not the only person going through something. They're singing as if they are doomed, but they're okay with it. I did actually do Doomed at 8 out of 10. I've done it at that because I think it's a great ending song. When I listen to True Power as for the album's sake, do I skip it? Depending on what I'm doing, yes, I do. Like if I'm really feeling pumped and I'm really needing that kind of power, I don't listen to the song. I just let it move on and pass away. Or pass through it, I don't know. There we go. That's all of that done. If you add up all the scores out of 10, it works out to be around about 84%. I always say in these reviews, even though this is my third one, that a 10 out of 10 album doesn't exist. So an 8.4, very close to an 8.5. If I got any little bit wrong, little tweak here or there, I think it's a very solid score. Was this album worth the God knows how many years wait? I think it was about 5 years maybe. Yes, it was. It was brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to this album. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next review, reaction, whatever, I don't know, real soon. Please like if you've enjoyed. Go watch some of the reactions if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below what you think about what I've said and what your favourite songs were. What was your least? What did you get from it? And I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. And now I just need to do a real quick like... There we go. They're the thumbnails.